Welcome back to the Purse Chronicles, everybody. I'm Julie Lee, your host, here with my other host.
It's Julie again.
Hey, you. It's me again.
Hi, everybody. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening to us. We're so excited for you to check us out on Instagram and follow us at The Purse Chronicles.
Yes.
And to see our new Facebook page and become a follower there at The Purse Chronicles as well. And make sure you subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
iTunes, baby.
Now everybody can hear The Purse Chronicles.
And never miss an episode.
That's right. Excuse me. So what are we pulling out of our purses this week, ladies? We are talking about stop apologizing.
Yes.
So the original topic for this started with stop apologizing for our successes. Mm-hmm. And then Julie said, how about just stop apologizing?
Yeah.
Because as women, as CEOs, as business owners, leaders, we tend to apologize for things that we shouldn't. And in a previous podcast, I can't remember what the topic was, Julie got very adamant when I said, a lot of us need to stop apologizing for our success. And she said, I don't. I absolutely don't. And V and I were like, well, wow, we apologize for our Mercedes and our Louis Vuittons.
Yes.
And, that we can, do certain things because our hard work has paid off enough to take us to certain levels. And Julie said, no, absolutely, I don't. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with you.
East Coast shoes, and that's it.
Yeah. So tell us about how do we stop apologizing?
Well, I don't know. When would the apology come into the conversation?
Well, it's all interrelated, I feel like, because we've talked about as we go higher, our circle gets smaller.
Yes.
And that has to do with jealousy and
Yes.
some people not wanting to see you succeed and or win.
Yeah.
And so that can make you sometimes feel like, I don't want to show off my new handbag. I don't want to show off my new car. I don't want to show off this house I've been saving for forever. Mm-hmm. So you kind of start maybe not outwardly apologizing per se, but you hiding your successes or feeling like, oh, I'm not going to carry that bag today because I don't want them to think. You know what I mean? That kind of talk?
I think that there's a difference between, first, like this, you touched on so many things. One, when you said, I don't want to carry the handbag because what might they think? We cannot control what other people are going to think.
Okay, good point. Good point. I love that.
Because I might think, oh, my North Face jacket or whatever, I don't even know what this thing is. If I wear it, they're going to think I'm like, people might be like, that's really not a very expensive jacket, so I don't know why you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who knows what people are thinking? I cannot possibly manage and anticipate what folks are thinking and interpreting my actions to be, number one. And number two, there is a difference between existing and flaunting. The flaunting, I have seen people take pictures of their, not the receipt, when you go to pay the bill. Their bill.
Yeah.
They've taken a picture of their bill.
Yeah.
Staying at the Ritz by the pool. They're like, ooh, poolside life. It's $1,100 bar tab. And you're like, oh, it's okay. Come on, let's roll it back a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between flaunting your life and just existing, right? So, but if I know that I'm living my life authentically and normally without an intention to, for lack of a better word, show something off, then how someone interprets it, that's on them. That's not on me.
Huh.
I can't manage to that. How can I possibly manage to all of that?
Yeah. I think I grew up, as a child, I grew up in Kenner, but my grandmother, who raised me, we were always with our grandmother, lived in the Lafitte Projects. And it was, like I tell you, I didn't know we were poor, that thing. But, when you have other people that you're around and, when you when it's it's affordable for me to buy the purses that I have. So if I go in Louis Vuitton or if I get a special invite to Louis Vuitton, that's extra money for me. But I work for that. I work very hard for that. For me to buy me and my kids the vehicle that we drive, then I work for that. That's extra money. But I do feel that others make me feel like I need to apologize because I get I just drove up to a Mercedes parking lot out here. Well, so how big is this house? And how did you get it? And it's almost like I'm not worthy of it. And but I mask a lot, and we talked about that. Yeah. And so I always want people to feel like something's achievable for them as well and not left behind because I work hard for this. I went to school. I put in a lot of time I am.
Do you hear what you're doing? Justifying and defending everything, which is that's basically the same thing as apologizing.
Yeah. And I feel the same way. When people come into my home, I don't look at it as this big, I look at it as something my husband and I worked for and we saved for, and we had a plan to be able to be where we are today. Yeah. When he retired and started working about 30 days later, rehired, it was like having a third income coming in. Yes. So we were able to put ourselves in a better position financially, but we always had a plan. Yeah. It just didn't happen that way. So I don't feel like I apologize, but when people come into my home, I want them to feel welcome. Yes. And I want them to feel comfortable. Yes. And you can spend the night and bring the kids and we'll go swimming tomorrow and whatever, but I don't want to apologize for it. And I think I justify it just like she does. Yes. And I do feel comfortable in your home. And a lot of people always tell me, oh my God, you're going to love it by her because you do feel comfortable. And it's not something I work for. That comes naturally from me. A good friend of mine, I'm going to say Donna, and I hope she listens to this, but I went to her home, one of my tennis friends, years ago, and beautiful home off the lake. And no matter what, you just felt comfortable in her home. And I wanted people to feel that way in my home. And it goes back to some of that jealousy thing. So, yes, I find myself justifying, and I do. And because I'm very humble. A lot of people say, I never knew you lived here. I never knew what you did. I didn't know you were CEO. I didn't know you did all that. Because I want you to know me for me. Mm-hmm. Because that's the core of who I am. Me, the person that I am, and not the materialistic things. Now, like you said, I did have a plan. I do have a plan. I have a plan for the next 5 years. And we talked about that in a previous episode. And it's okay to have a plan. And I believe that individuals choose to spend their money how they choose to spend their money. And so I think that I chose to save my money. I chose to put my money aside for the goals that I set. Other individuals may choose to, I want to live life to its fullest every weekend, and it's okay if I don't have that. So then when you come to my home or see me driving something, or I don't live paycheck to paycheck anymore. We all got there, right? That's right. Then I think it goes back to some of their regret. And
so this is just going back to validating, justifying why we do what we do. And that's that cycle of, it's still a cycle of apologizing for ourselves. And this even goes to, we're talking about not apologizing. When you draw the line in the sand, you don't have to over-explain and apologize for, let's say, for example, that I need to be somewhere because my kids need to go home for a nap because we have something else later that evening. And so if I need to leave a situation, it's, hey, we're going to have to leave at 11. Mm-hmm. We've had such a great time, but we're going to have to leave early. I don't need to then say, and I'm so sorry. I know you wanted me to stay. Now, I think there's a balance between being gracious and sincerely recognizing, but you don't have to always justify and apologize your stance or your boundaries. Like, I'm sorry, but go ahead.
And I'm so with you on that track. I think it's judgment.
Mm-hmm. That that we're catering to, or
that we feel, so we're trying to justify.
Yes.
the judgment from others on, like you said, we can't control what they think, but in our mind, we know what they're thinking.
Yes.
90% of the time, we're probably pretty close on
Yes.
what they are thinking about us. So we justify what we have or where we've been or what we've worked for.
And let's just be honest here. I don't want to ever come across as being braggadocious.
Me neither.
Ever. And I know.
I said that last night in that thing. I said I never want to feel like I never want to forget where we came from because that keeps me humble.
I'm
And it makes me appreciate what I have and what I've worked for even more because I know where I've been. I've walked in the apartment when the lights are turned off
Come on.
and the bill is on there and it's 3 months behind and you can't pay it. So I've been there.
Exactly. And
But you don't. This is the thing: is that people, if they impose their judgments on us, we do not need to turn around and say no. But I have also been like.
How do we stop doing
You
that?
just-
I guess that's the dialogue.
You have to be self-aware internally and pause inside your own mind. For example, if someone were to compliment me and my clothes and say, "You always look so good. Your outfits look so. I would never be as tiny as you are." I don't have to apologize for that and say, well, hold on now. I wasn't always this size, and and these clothes aren't as expensive as they look. I've got some good deals, and no, and gosh, I right now, I hate how this looks over here. Look, if I lift my shirt up, you can see this roll over here. It's you stop and you just say thank you.
I take a different approach, and maybe it may be apologetic. So you let me know, and the feedback I'm going to get from the listeners, you tell me. You made me feel good with that compliment, and your goal was to compliment me and make me feel good, and I want to in turn let you know that things are achievable. And that comes from me being I've been running a business for so many years, and I'm always wanting the next level and someone to get something, and I'm always wanting you to win. And so if there's something that's complimentary to you, I want you to know that it's not something that just, it's unachievable. I'm telling you that you can go into the Mercedes dealership and get a Mercedes vehicle if that's what you want. So, and I will tell you how to buy a car, how to buy a house. And because, if I didn't have others before me telling me these things, I would not know.
But that's totally different, though. That's helpful.
So when I come from that place, I'm not apologizing.
No, I think that's if someone were to say, Julie, gosh, that's such a great outfit. It's like, girl, go get them yourself, man. The ain't terrible law, $40.
Right.
Hook yourself up.
Yes.
Right.
That's not apologizing. That's having just a conversation with somebody and having dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to be honest with you. That's a thin line because sometimes I am apologizing. And let's be honest. Like, sometimes it comes from a place of I want you to get it as well. And then there are times, and I cannot tell you the distinction, where I'm in a situation and it's an emotional thing and I feel like I need to, like, for example, individuals think that my life is just great. I don't, and she, when does she work, or she doesn't work, or she works a lot, or whatever the deal is. People just automatically assume that you got it all together and you're not. I'm not punching a clock because I work 24/7. I'm working 6 o'clock in the morning, or I'm working 12 o'clock at night. I'm working constantly, and they don't understand or know that because individuals, which I respect as 100%, go in from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, 8 to 4:30, or whatever it is. And so then you're off. I'm never off.
You're not chained to the desk, though, so they don't understand
I'm never
the
off.
difference.
So, Mardi Gras time, if we're on the float, I'm working. Like, I'm texting. I'm working.
I'm not working on the float. Sorry.
I am.
No,
Oh,
I
you're
am.
that's not true. I'm tandem.
Hustle doesn't sleep.
I'm tandem captain. You're right.
Until that 44th float comes in and that
No.
last person gets off the
Aw.
float. And I know everybody's safe with no injuries, and
That's
we
right.
made it okay.
Well, we're going to talk about that on the Mardi Gras.
But
episode.
I'm working my job.
No, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
But that's not apologizing. And I think when we say we need to stop apologizing, it's apologizing for success. It's apologizing
For boundaries.
for having our stuff together. It's we've got to stop apologizing. Society, we keep apologizing for how do you do it all? Well, I do it all because I'm hyper organized. I have, people in place to help me. My kids are taken care of. My job's taken care of. My house is taken care of. My husband's taken care of. My girlfriend, not that everybody has it all together all the time, but we need to stop apologizing for what we're good at and what we do well. And I think that's where, as women, most of us, maybe not this one, but most of us, we apologize for subconsciously, not maybe, outwardly, but we do it.
You know where I've been catching, because I'm, as we joke here, I'm unabashedly very pleased with where I am in my life.
Yes.
And that garners me some people that don't like me. That's a result, because I don't apologize for it, and I'm pleased for it.
Sure.
Right? But where I have work on being conscious of is not apologizing for boundaries. So, for example, if there's someone that is invading my boundaries and not respecting me, I've gone back in text messages and deleted it when I'm writing it. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, but I need you to give me my space. This is too much. This is draining me. I delete the I'm sorry part. I just say, I'm feeling drained. I need you to give me some space. I'm going to not respond to your next text because I need to take care of me. And I delete the I'm sorry part, you see? And that's where I think you see the
more
difference.
Direct message.
I'm not going to apologize for or even my children. I know you're upset that I'm telling you to go to bed. And I know you wish you could have an Oreo right now. It is time for bed. Instead of, I'm sorry, but it's bedtime. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I use the term sorry to validate the person. I don't use the term sorry to I want you to know and understand that I'm genuinely, and sorry, I don't use that haphazardly. Mm-hmm. When I say sorry, I mean it. That means it won't happen again. So when I hear you and I receive your message, I'm going to say I'm sorry to you because I won't do it again.
Well, that's an apology during that's an apology during an interaction. Right. That's not, I think it's totally appropriate if I, came across aggressive like that, it would never happen.
Yeah. No, never.
Who, me?
Not you.
That if I accidentally, unintentionally did that, to say, I'm sorry that I came across that. See, that's different. That's an apology because
that's different.
That's different. That's different from, I'm sorry, but I really need you to not call me. I'm sorry, but Mom, I really got to take the kids home. They're tired. No, Mom, I got to take the kids home. They're tired. We have to leave. Yeah. Oh, but we were going to plan for the whole party and the whole family's supposed to be here. We need all these things. Instead, it's just...
Yeah,
I'm leaving now. We have to go. The girls
you
are
take
tired.
out the I'm sorry. I like that, and it's a more direct approach to whatever the situation.
And it's not abrupt. It's not abrasive.
No, it's not to be rude. But when you say, V, that you take out or you say the I'm sorry to what was the word you said? Deflect the person?
No, to
validate. But what you're doing, I guess, in listening to what Julie is saying, you're devaluating yourself.
Well, no, it depends. I'm glad you said that because I want to clear that up. I love validating people. I'm a huge fan. I think validation is a really wonderful tool. I think if someone felt hurt by V or neglected, if something happened, I think it's fine to say, I'm sorry that my actions made you feel that way. I'm sorry that you felt unincluded. I'm sorry that I forgot to put you in that email. I think that's totally appropriate.
Well, yeah.
Isn't that what you're? Isn't that
what she's saying is? And
tell us.
What you were saying was about success or whatever your specific situation had to do with them. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry I'm driving that Mercedes. I'm not sorry I'm carrying that Louis Vuitton. I'm sorry if you're sorry about it because I'm not. But maybe I am. Maybe I am doing that in a way I don't even realize subconsciously.
Very multiple. I do feel sorry that if an individual has not achieve the level that they want to achieve. I do. And I'm the person, okay, who would love for you to get there. Because remember, I come from a place where I got there by going through the journey and taking the steps of getting there. If I had not had that journey and those steps outlined for me or given those opportunities, those breaks or whatever it is to get there, then I know, I know. And
I don't understand how this
I know,
happens.
listen, let me
gotta
just say,
disagree.
let me keep
Go
going.
ahead.
Let me keep going.
Yeah.
So I feel, and maybe I'm using the wrong term of sorry, but I'm always wanting to feel that you can do it. Like I want to
They have
help
to
you.
feel they can do
That's true. That's where I need to get better.
That's where you struggle.
You know, that's where I struggle.
And it can't be a direct correlation to your own success. It has nothing.
See, and I'm sorry to interrupt
That's
you,
okay.
but I feel like, and maybe it's my background and where I come from, and this is something I struggle with. God, this is going to sound so bad, and please don't take this the wrong way, listeners.
Okay.
I struggle with feeling sorry for people,
That's me.
but you do.
Me, I do.
I have trouble feeling sorry for people in a sense that
I do.
I don't. God, this sounds so bad.
No,
And I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't feel sorry for the man standing on the corner going, well, need food, and he's got a dog standing there,
Right. I don't either.
and the dog looks more healthy than him,
Right.
but McDonald's is hiring right down the street.
I'm with you on
God
that.
willing, even just people with all kinds of special needs get jobs.
Okay, so those folks, that's usually a mental health drug issue.
Okay.
Right.
Maybe that's a bad
Yeah.
example, but I have trouble feeling sorry for people when I see them on their climb,
Yeah.
on their journey. They're doing their thing. It
Yeah.
may take longer, but they're doing it. I don't feel sorry.
Yeah, I
Because that's sympathy.
I
right?
just want.
It's not your job. It's not your job.
I know.
But why do you feel sorry?
I just want.
Because you're successful?
No, I don't feel sorry that I'm successful. I just want to. People tell me, you know what, V, you can't save the world, and so I struggle with trying to save or trying to help or trying to fix something or help someone as best as I can. I do. I do struggle with that. So that's to a fault.
You're just a bleeding heart?
Oh God, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, wait. So what is it you want to do? I got you. Let's figure it out. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm always that person. That is a struggle
that's
for
a
me.
That's maybe a mentor
Yeah,
role
but that's,
in life.
That's,
That I've
might
always
not-
been a
that's
mentor.
got nothing to do with apologizing for your own successes and apologizing for your needs and your wants and your boundaries. That's what I'm talking about. That don't apologize that I can't go out with you tonight. I know that you want to party and this is what you're going through and you want to go get drunk this weekend because you just but I can't do that. And I'm not going to feel bad that I can't do that. I'm not going to feel bad that I have things in my life I have to take care of. I'm not going to apologize for those things.
I'm the person that is going to pick up the tab if I notice that somebody else, I will do that. I'm the person that will I do that. I will, and it's not like I'm apologizing. I just know that I feel that I'm at a place where I can do it. So I do it, and I don't want others to feel bad about
This is a whole different. This is different. I understand what you're talking about, and that's not the same as apologizing for your successes. That's a whole different episode.
I don't think I apologize for my success.
No, now she's coming all
Wait,
the way
let me
back
just say
around.
this. Let me just say
I
this.
don't.
I don't. Okay, wait. Let me just be clear. I don't apologize that I spent hours and years in school. Okay, and
Yeah, you
that's
work
what
for
I like.
that.
Yeah, I don't apologize for that. I don't apologize that I built the house that I built. I don't apologize for the investments that I have. I don't apologize that I have disposable income and I put myself in that position. I don't apologize for that. What happens with me that seems apologetic is when we're talking about things and discussing things, it may seem apologetic. I will give you all the information you may need to achieve it. So I'm saying, oh, well, you can do it. Oh, don't worry. And I got it like this and I did it like that. So sometimes it comes across as apologetic because when I said it before, you said, now you're apologizing.
But when in actuality, you might just be being a resource for people, but you're thinking of it or interpreting it as being apologetic when actually you're being a resource to help somebody else to their next part of their journey. And I think that there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
And while you
Knowing the distinction.
Yeah, sure. And while you on a business level are completely different than in your personal life.
Yes.
And, without
Yes.
getting into specifics, I think
Oh, yeah.
you apologize a little bit in your personal life about some things that you shouldn't.
Right.
And we all have our boundaries.
and I'm working
And you're
on it,
talking
yeah.
to Julie right now.
I'm speaking to Julie. Our business boundaries and our personal boundaries. But when we started the topic of stop apologizing, that's the whole pie. It's not just business and it's not just personal because, as you say, it's our life. It's not just life work. It's our life. And so if we stop and if we're good at it in one part of our life, we can be good at it in all parts of our life. And
Yeah.
that's something internally that we could all learn maybe
That's a good point.
as a takeaway of this episode, that, what you apply here also applies here. And utilize your skills in business and in personal.
Transference.
Yeah. And what makes us so great at what we do and so successful is the great things that are working in the business part of our life
Yes.
can also be applied to the personal aspect of our life. And I think that's something that I'm coming into
Yes.
is learning those strategies that work in business, in personal life, as well as we've talked about over several podcasts now, the self-care. And we've all said we're working to get better about that. You seem to have it way together about not apologizing about certain aspects of your life.
Yes.
But then in others, maybe you could utilize those same principles.
Yes.
And I think that that's a great point to bring to people, that some of that stuff really is that whole pie. It's not just one part of ourselves. And as Julie loves to say, it's not the work life, it's the life.
Yeah, it's not
It's
work
the
versus
life.
your life. It's your
It's
entire
the
life.
And so if our life is that whole pie, taking those pieces that we need to work on,
Yes.
not apologizing for
Exactly.
ourselves
in any way is something that we can all work towards, moving forward. And I think this is definitely something that will be brought up again because it's a work in progress,
I can't wait
right?
to see the feedback on this. Like when people are saying,
Because we're like, I'm not apologizing. I promise I'm not
Because in business,
apologizing.
I don't apologize. But
See?
personally, I'm like, whatever, you can
there
do
you
it.
go.
So,
Well, thanks, ladies. I think
This
this
is
was
another
a
good
great
one.
episode, a wonderful, wonderful topic.
I know. We had
that
more
we have brought
ideas
up.
come
I feel
up.
like y'all beat me up
Yes.
this time.
Let's
No,
have a
What?
light bulb go off there,
joking.
too.
I did.
All right, Purse Chronicles, woohoo!
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.